Hi guys, it's Aegis here. So today I'm going to talk about a topic instead of doing a deck profile or unboxing video today, and it's actually about the 25 minutes playtime in tournaments. So things I will talk about is mainly on the JP side of the scene because that's what I mainly faced, as in events in Hong Kong, as in when I go to play in Japan. Yeah, mainly just these two. So I don't get too much experience on the EN side. I did play before last year in Melbourne, but I don't like being actively fly out and play so many different EN tournaments because, well, money, right? So this is something that we always face, especially when in set 2 DCPT02 era, when Soccer releases, when we have the EVA promo, when resale actually get a lot of more kind of decent support, I would say. The game time seems to be actually getting a lot longer, and a lot of people are facing the issue that they don't have enough time to finish the game when the time is 25 minutes. Now we are already in DCBT03 era, and the lyrical set is coming out as in this week, hopefully, if I actually did get this video out on Tuesday, which the release will be on the same week. If not, then yeah, you know what it means. So we are kind of past the DCBT02 era, which we did see quite a lot of things, and then DCPT03 comes in. So far we have some JP result, but in Hong Kong we haven't get any of the deluxe going on that actually experiencing new sets, so I don't have data on that yet. But later, if season 2 actually comes out, then I will also do some like investigation on timeout issue as well. What I have right now is our season 1 data, so it's slightly before DCPT03 releases with 25 minutes, and then and when people actually experience once when DCPT02 came out, because we play a team tournament, which I think is the BCF, that the winning team can actually go to Japan to play in Vanguard Fest. Right, so on that we were actually on 30 minutes, and we have quite a lot of timeout, especially in round 1, when a lot of players, not all, but a lot of players consider the new Soccer as a very strong deck, and they bring that in, and then they might not have enough practice. They might still new to the deck, or their opponent need to read a lot of the card skills because they are all new. There's a lot of timeout actually appears. But then when you get to our deluxe season 1 in Hong Kong, a lot of Soccer decks decreases because we don't see that much. What we see instead is a lot more Shiranui. We see EVA still coming out, we see Resal, we see Fagra. So those are more faster decks. So we actually experience ones where a lot of timeout happens, and then we get into season 1 with a change of deck choice because of the game speed. They don't want to time out. They know it's 25 minutes instead of 30 from the last time. They have 5 minutes short. So there we are. Now let's also talk about the season 1 data as well. So I did try to record how many timeouts we have during the day. So here are the data for round 1. I'm also telling you the actual length of the recorded match that I did as well, so it will be different to the actual length to the videos that I already uploaded for season 1. So round 1, we have 4 out of 64 tables that got timeout. So 4. And the recorded time for the match that I took is 20 minutes 42 seconds. Round 2, we have 5 out of 64 tables got timeout. So kind of similar. And then the feature table playtime is 17 minutes and 6 seconds. Round 3, that is the actual video that I did keep the kind of the full length plus a little bit and cut out some time. That I also did mention that we have first we have 6 out of 64 tables timeout. So it's kind of still the same. 4, 5, 6 is kind of the same, but the featured table, which is basically table 1, top table, so the people that keep winning for the first 2 rounds, the time went to 26 minutes 40 seconds. And why is above 25 minutes is because they just want to finish the game, so we just let it happen. And then I turn off the camera when they finish the game, so it took almost 27 minutes. And it's a Shiranui versus Vaga. So Shiranui is a deck that go in a little bit fast, but not extremely fast, but it's an aggressive deck. And then Vanguard is definitely an aggressive deck. And even these two decks strikes against each other, it takes overtime. So there's something. And round 4, 4 out of 64 tables timeout. And the feature table playtime is around 11 minutes 27 seconds. So I guess that's okay. But I think it's a Mushi King involved, so it's kind of fast. Round 5, 4 out of 64 tables timeout. And the feature table playtime is 23 minutes 03 seconds. And then round 6, the final round, before we get the top cut, we still have 5 tables out of 64 timeout, and the playtime for feature table is 19 minutes and 26 seconds. Right, so that's basically the 6 round stager before we get into top cut. Most of them are able to finish on time, but on round 3 there's one that actually get overtime. So that's still happening, and every single round we still have some timeout happen. So then we also need to think about the reason for the timeout, right? Is it because of the meta? It could be, because for example, especially when DCP-02 releases, Sorgar is definitely one of the main factors that we see a lot of timeout. Because I myself are very experienced with the Sorgar deck, and I can still get to a timeout situation. Sometimes I can finish my game, sometimes I cannot. So it's not one-sided. Sometimes depending on your opponents playing things as well or not. Like if they do a lot of different things, involve a lot of shuffling, that might also take up some time. So we can't simply blame on one deck or one player on things. It could be two-sided. And then other things we can consider is because we are in the DC BT era, so Divine C era, where we start evolving to use energy. When you have more resources, then there's more things you need to care about. One, to charge your energy. Sometimes we just forget and we need to do it back, or we just need to do that action that already takes up some time. Two, to consider how many energy you want to use per effects, per turn, everything. Because again, there's more resources you need to control, that takes more time. And like not only just energy itself, but because the cards are also evolving a lot of different things, that if you are not familiar with the deck, it could be because it is a Vanguard is still a game that can get new players into it. So no matter you're new players, you're experienced players, when you are touching a new deck and you bring it in to a tournament, there are times that you actually need some time to read your cards, right? Or even read your opponent's cards, because you do want to know what they do so that you know how to prepare against it, right? So then these are the reasons that could be making things longer. But you can also let me know in the comments down below what you think is the reason that could cause timeout. But so far, what I think is, one is could be the meta, because once we get into almost DCBD03 and even get to DCBD03, I think the timeout is actually going less and less. At least before DCBD03 releases, after people experience one's time with a lot of timeout, the next time is basically just 4 to 6 tables out of 64 that got timeout. So it's not too bad. It's not that bad, right? And people learn their lessons, what to take, and they avoid some options that can cause them to timeout. Even though those decks are strong, if they can't control it within the time, then they will still get it lost, right? So it's not worth it. So if it is a meta issue, then it could be solved through time, because what we need is just to create another meta that does not involve a lot of decks that will time out, right? But if it's not meta, it's actually on the second point that I did talk about, that because we are having energy as a new mechanic, and we just have a lot of things that involve energy as well, instead of just using 7 energy to draw a card and just remember to charge it, then that means the new mechanics requires us more time to finish our turn, and that could cause our timeout. If that's the case, then maybe we need to get attention from official to let them know that this is the case. Then we might need more time. For example, when we are involving in G units and G guards, that like opens a whole territory of thinking time on what to use. Like, instead of just relying on your Grave Freeze, you now need to look at a pile of G zones to choose the units that fits the situation and stride on it. And when your opponent attacks you, you need to choose the right G guardians to save you, and those might have other effects like searching your deck for something to help guarding, searching something to go to the drop that can benefit your next turn, pop your opponent's regards, bind your opponent's regards, lock your opponent's regards, all these things. And those take time, more thinking time. So yeah, which I think when G Guardians drop, we actually get a time increase per round because of that, because we have involved a lot more thinking time. And if energy is actually the main reason, then we might actually get some more time to play, maybe. But if it's the meta, then we just need to wait for the meta to change, and you just choose not to use those decks, then everything will be solved, kind of. Alright, so now let's also kind of talk about some decks that I think could cause overtime. Just my opinion. It might not be always true, but if you also have other things that you want to share, again, feel free to share in the comments down below. I just want to get people attention on the 25 minutes and like let everyone think about it. In what way it kind of causing you to time out? Does it cause you to time out? And such. So first thing, definitely my favorite boy, Sorgar. Absolutely, because even when you are playing against a fast deck, it could cause timeout. For example, I've been playing against El Magister with the upgraded cards 2 times, in Japan. The first time is in a in Kubota's event, where I get kind of bashed hard and get a 6 damage heal and then go back to win, and I still get it in time. And the second time is actually in the Vanguard Fest, where I play in my second round, and there's a lot of shuffling, there's a lot of things going back and forth with both players, and then we get into timeout. But El Magister is supposed to be playing quite fast because you want to do a lot of aggressive plays, but we still get to timeout. So even when I use Soger against the same deck type, things can be different. So it's not only on one side, it could be on both sides. Other options, Shuanoi, Luard. These two stride decks definitely could timeout. For sure, I already have one example that even facing a Vanguard deck, you get the timeout. But it's not only the Shuanoi players' fault, could be, because when you face a Shuanoi deck, you might consider to stay on grade 2 for a turn. And if both players did get to do something very aggressive, that means it's only like kind of delay, create an extra turn of gap before everything goes back to normal. So it could time out because of that. Or some Shuanoi players decided to just stuck at grade 2. It could end games very fast, but at the same time it could end the game a little bit longer. So depending on the plays, but it could happen. But it's less likely. That's why people choose Shuanoi a lot more. The play rate increased by a lot. And then going to Luard. Luard is definitely a long gamer as well, because you need time to set up your stuff. So, and then you are supposed to have a lot of cards to guard, and then starting to return some stuff, use those to like fight back to your opponent. So the word is definitely also another one that could be taking a lot of time. Next, Resel, definitely. Resel, it kind of do the same thing every single turn, just trying to bring the doggy out, play orders where you need so that you can activate the doggy for sure, and then you just keep getting a big hand size, guard them, rebuild your board, get a whole bunch of hand, guard them, and then you repeat. And you also get your device skill that kind of save you from dying for once, so that can actually take the game long. But at the same time, it can be broken by high power force, because even though you have a lot of cards in your hand, things are limited. You just need to drop a lot of resources and you will run out of gas if your opponent punches so hard. Even though with the festival collection, we do get to recycle PGs a lot easier, so that could be something. And then Resel and Luard is kind of the same, where Luard was also kind of benefiting from the doggy, but not anymore. So it turns to Resel, right? So yeah. And then another one that could be causing timeout is definitely Lascaria Veneno. She is a card that defend a lot, draw a lot, do some punches, and then just grind. So some people actually take this in to tournaments because of how defensive she is, or some people are just insect lovers, like people who love Mega Colony, then they might consider using her. Just keep guarding, keep fighting. That can really lead to timeout. Another options, which is quite new, is Story Elijah. So this also is a grind deck that you need to be very good into making your opponents feel annoying, and you don't do high power punches a lot, so you don't always drain all your opponent's resources that fast. But what you do is you minus their power, minus their drives, so that they can't keep having good resources, a lot of resources, in that way to drain them, right? So I can see this being a deck that could lead you to timeout, but again, it's not always. And then what other possible options? Dive doors, which could happen, I guess, but I don't see that coming into play that much right now, so maybe not. Well, at least not affecting the whole tournament that much. And another one is definitely Eva. Even though Eva is, of course, a very good deck, a very defensive deck, with some good board wipe, good pusher. The monster PR definitely helps it by squeezing the deck faster, allows you to do your searches, look at the top, whatever, gain a card before you go into the new Eva, which also turns you a personal right and an extra order. That, and then all your partners have increased the shield value, so you can survive a lot longer. And if you are playing against kind of like a grind deck, then when both sides are very good at defending and defending and defending, then that could lead to timeout, right? So again, all these decks in Direful Door Eva doesn't mean that they are the reason of timeout, but using them, in my opinion, have a chance and a higher chance compared to decks like Vaga, definitely, or any other kind of rushing decks like Mushi King, like Yakumo Benny, all these things, and then Shoujo Doji, right? At least these four, you won't say they are exactly a very grind deck, but they are very aggressive. They do a lot of attacks, and they win quick, they lose quick sometimes, like Roroa as well. Yeah, so these are the ones that could be timing out a lot easier than others, but that doesn't mean you don't take them in to tournaments if you're confident and you know these decks better than what the faster decks are. I think you should still consider using them, because if you are playing a fast deck, when you don't know what you're doing, you lose easier. When you use a fast deck, when you don't know what to do and takes more time, it might still go to timeout. Then if both ways are very close to timeout, then why don't you choose the one that with more confident, right? So yeah. Lastly, I just want to put it there, like, do you think that we should get a time extend on things? Personally, to me, if I get an extra 5 minutes as a soccer player, that will be a lot more comfortable for me, for sure. So if you are asking me being selfish, yes, I want to see more soccer players get to play soccer, and they need more time. So I will agree to have like at least a 5 minutes extend. But do you want to? That I'm not sure. So feel free to let me in the comments down below. And I think the official also needs to see, again, the reason behind. If it is, again, the meta, then they're probably not going to do anything, because they just need to wait for the meta to pass. Everything will be solved. If it's involving energy, if it's involving new decks that attracts people going in, but then they take more time to actually play the deck and leads to timeout, then they might consider. And I think they are also looking into having their voice actors to play in tournaments as well, where we in Vanguard Fest we already see the voice actor teams going in. But I can't remember which event it was, and I think it's within the Vanguard Fest or the event after. Just between these two. I think one of the voice actor went to timeout in the round. And if that's the case, then that's a very good indicator that because the voice actor, you can't expect them to just keep playing Vanguard every single day, or just extremely familiar with the decks. Even though some of them are very addicted to the game, they build their own decks and such, yeah, then they might be very confident to play within time. But not every single voice actor does. And in order to also let the voice actor to enjoy the game and also get the time to be the character they are representing, then they might need more time. Maybe. I'm not on the booth, so I can't say anything about them, but I think I remember seeing some cases like that. So yeah, that's definitely going to help everyone if time gets extended. But I also do want to know about your thoughts. Do you think it's long enough with 25 minutes? Do you think it's better to have a 30 minutes game round? Let me know. Yeah, so I just want to throw this out there. Let me know your thoughts again, and we will keep looking, definitely. When DCBD03 related results and the lyrical new sets results coming in Hong Kong, as in the season 2 of Deluxe, I will also probably do something to talk about it, right? I think it's good to just keep looking in different time frames if the time is enough. Now it could be slightly not enough or barely enough, so people changing things to kind of meet the time. And then if the next one where we have more deck types and time is definitely enough, then yeah, even though I do want to have more time to play my Saga, it doesn't mean it has to be the case. Yeah, so I think that's it for this video. Kind of different. Sometimes I just want to put this out there and see how people think. So do let me know your thoughts, and of course subscribe for more deck fights, unboxings, deck fight videos, deck profiles, everything. And yeah, I think that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Signing off.